Okay, let's see what the best way to do this is going to be. I've got your straight out of camera image open. We'll go to your background replacement image that you want to use, and we'll drag and drop that onto your photo here. We'll scale it up, free transform, Command or Control T. Okay, and we'll play with the layer blending modes of that layer. Let's see, overlay, soft light, hard light, vivid, overlay. Let's see. Usually I use overlay or soft light for this. I think we'll stick with soft light for this. It adds a little bit of texture to your gray, but it's not overwhelming. So I think we'll stick with that. All right, so let's click on our background layer of the little girl here, and I'm going to make a selection of your subject here using the Select and Mask workspace. So with the picture of the little girl selected, I'll go up to the Select menu and choose Select and Mask. This is going to give you the most precise selection. We'll make sure transparency is set all the way to 100%. And let's make sure that our feather and smoothing and all those things are set at 0. Yeah, okay, I think we're good. We'll click Select Subject. We want to be sure that we're using cloud-based selection. So you do need to have an internet connection to do that, but you can tick the little drop-down arrow next to where it says Select Subject and make sure that that's set to cloud if you have internet connectivity. So we'll do that, and then we'll click Select Subject and let Photoshop try and pick out your subject. There we go. And it did a reasonable job. If we look around the hard edges of her clothing, actually that looks pretty good. Remember, we're going to blend this. It's not going to be like she's cut out and dropped onto that background. Obviously, there's a lot of detail in the hair that needs to be worked on. So let's try this. Let's click the Refine Hair button and see if that makes any difference. It helps a bit. Okay, so it got rid of some of that excess original background. There's still some trapped background, your original light gray background here. So we'll use the Refine Edge Brush tool here on the left in the toolbar. It's usually the second from the top, Refine Edge Brush tool. And I'm going to paint over those areas of the backdrop, and sort of the trapped areas in her hair there. Just kind of click and click there. See if we can get rid of some of that gray. Yeah, that actually worked pretty well. You could paint with it, but just clicking those few little spots seems to work pretty well. Good. And then we don't need to make any other changes here. At the bottom of the right-hand side of the Properties panel, under Output Settings, if yours is not showing, click the little disclosure triangle here to the left of where it says Output Settings, and make sure we're outputting to a layer mask. So we'll click that and click OK, and it's going to take us back into our regular Photoshop workspace. Now that layer mask is applied to the image of your subject. We actually want the mask to be applied to the texture layer that you're overlaying here. So I'm going to drag that mask up onto the texture layer, and you can see this is actually just the opposite of what we want. We've got our texture on your subject and not on the background. So click on the thumbnail for your layer mask here that we just created and invert, Command or Control I. And that now you should see on the layer mask, the areas around the background should be white and your subject should be black on the layer mask. And what that means is it's hiding the texture overlay wherever you see black on the mask. So it's hiding it on your subject, but it's revealing that texture wherever you see white on the masks, in this case the background. So if we turn that layer on and off, we can see that we're only seeing the texture on your background. We can also play with this. We can click on that texture layer, the top layer here, and you can play with the layer blending modes to see if there's one that you like better. For example, hard light's interesting. It may be a little too intense, so we can try hard light and then lower the layer opacity a bit to let it blend a little differently with the underlying original background. So that's using the hard light layer blend mode versus soft light, which is much more subtle, and we probably want to use that at 100% opacity if you wanted to go that route. So that works that technique should work. There's no way to batch this. You have to do them one at a time. But that process seems to work. So hopefully that answers the questions, and let me know how it works for you. Okay.